What is going on, everybody? RoyalRapids here, and welcome back to another Pokemon Hardcore Nuzlocke. Today, we'll be taking on Pokemon Ruby using only the Flying type. Now, we have plenty of encounters in this run. I'll put them on the screen for you guys to see it. I don't know them off the top of my head. And as you know, the Nuzlocke rules are, we can only guess the first Flying type encounter on each route. If a Pokemon faints, it is considered dead and is permanently boxed. We play with Species Clause, so that we can only get one of each Flying type evolution line. And we also play with a level cap, meaning that we cannot level past the Gym Leader or Elite Four's Ace. So, without further ado, we get our first two encounters, a Wurmple, a Wingull, a Surskit, and a Taillow. Now, as you know, Wurmple and Surskit are not exactly Flying types, neither is Nincada, but they all evolve into Flying types. So, after evolving a few encounters, we run into Roxanne, we Water Gun at Geodude, run into Nosepass, Supersonic it, hit a few Water Guns in its face, and after taking a Rock Throw, we're able to outspeed twice, taking out the Nosepass and earning our first Hoenn Gym Badge. After defeating Roxanne, we continue on with our journey out to Dewford Town. We pick up the old rod from the fisherman, allowing us to fish up our next encounter, a Magikarp. And going into the cave, we pick up our another encounter, a Zubat. Now, if you haven't been able to tell yet, I used a random country generator to pick random country names for our Pokemon. So, in the Brawly fight, we pre-poison Belgium the Taillow, who has the Guts ability, which boosts its attack due to a status condition. After letting Double Team, one Wing Attack takes down the Makuhita, quickly earning us our second Hoenn Gym Badge. Over in the Oceanic Museum in Slateport City, we run into a few Magma Grunts. I always like to show this battle because there are two consecutive battles in a row against these Grunts, and it can be difficult if your lead Pokemon is damaged, like Lau here, the Zubat, who's only at 14 HP, which forces me to think and switch since I'm basically down a team member for the second fight. Luckily, Belgium's an absolute beast and Wing Attacks the Zubat and Numble to death, earning us the win over the Grunt and meeting Maxie for the first time. Like I said, it can be a difficult battle, but not as difficult as the infamous May rival battle out here. She leads with the Wailmer, and I Supersonic it, but for some reason it keeps going for Splash. So through the confusion, I hit a few bites, and we easily take down the Wailmer. It does 0 damage to us. In comes Numble, the Fire and Ground type, sent in France, who nails a quick Water Gun, taking it out, leading into Grovyle. But I'm stupid and don't realize the thing as Pursuit, switching out and taking a double power Pursuit, which kills France, our first death of the run. Sucks to lose a Water and Flying type, but luckily we have Sweden in the back. Before heading into probably what will be the hardest gym of the game, we run into Wally, who can be easy. However, I'm stupid and get confused from confusion and almost lose Lau to Wally's goddamn routes. Before the fight, Lau evolves into a Golbat, Belgium evolves into a Swellow, and Indonesia evolves into a Masquerain, as well as Uzbekistan evolving into a Ninjask. Now, I lead with Uzbekistan against Magnemite, who we equip a berry with to cure the paralysis. I hit up 6 double teams in its face and start cutting and Fury Cuttering into its face. As you know, Fury Cutter increases damage with each consecutive use. So we take out the Magnemite with a few of them, one-shot Voltorb, and in comes Magneton, who I realize has Shockwave, which can't miss. And Uzbekistan goes down, our second death of the run. I send in Columbia the Beautify just to get off a quick Sunspore as a sacrifice before deciding to switch out. I send in Lau the Golbat, who Supersonic sets up the Parafusion, which makes it near impossible for Magneton to hit us, and I just start laying into it with bites. It paralyzes us, we heal it off with the Pecha Berry, and a few more bites later, we walk out victorious with only 2 deaths. Could have been a lot worse. After the gym, Sweden evolves into a Gyarados, and we run into our next encounter, a Skarmory, which should be really clutch for this run, because the Steel type, especially pre-Gen 6, is ridiculously overpowered. Over on the next route past Fall Arbor Town, we run into another encounter, a wild Swablu, which for now is a normal type, but will eventually evolve into the dragon type Altaria. So, on top of Mount Chimney, we reach our good friend Maxie, who leads with the Mightyena, and we lead with Belgium. After realizing we can't do anything, we like to switch into Indonesia to land an Intimidate, and into Sweden to land another Intimidate, and back to Indonesia, and back to Sweden, before realizing this thing uses Bite, and it says Gen 3, it's a special attack, whatever. 2 Dragon Rages take the job down. And in comes Golbat, 2 more Dragon Rages get the job done, and now Camerupt is in, the Fire and Ground type. We don't have any water moves on Sweden, but we tank its attacks easily, and once again, OP Dragon Rage gets the win, which leads us into the fight with Fire Leader Flannery, who's up with a Slugma. We use a Water Sport to weaken Fire moves. Never thought I would ever use that move in my life, but it sets up a Sunny Day to cancel out the effect, whatever. And I'm stupid and stay in and take a sun-boosted Overheat to the face, which kills Indonesia. In comes Belgium, who is Guts boosted with a burn that I got earlier in the gym, and it can't even one-hit KO the Slugma, which kind of sucks. 4 wing attacks later, the Slugma's down, and in comes Torkoal. Knowing I'm dead to an Overheat, I switch into Sweden, who tanks the Overheat like nobody's business, and due to its special attack being lowered, it doesn't do too much damage. So 3 Dragon Rages get the job done, and we take down Flannery. Since there's not much between the 4th and 5th gyms, we quickly evolve Lau into a Crobat, and take on Gym Leader Norman, the normal type user. He leads up with the slacking, as he does in these games. He has 2 of them, and we lead with our Skarmory Chile, who really can't be touched by this slacking. I switch over to Gyarados to get a couple Intimidate drops before getting put to sleep with Yawn, but I realized being a Steel type, the slacking really can't hurt me. It only has normal type moves, and it's using Facade despite not being statused. Regardless, Chile is able to pretty much tank anything we throw at it, and mixing up Sand Attack along with hitting it through its Focus Punches. It is very unlikely this slacking does any damage to us, considering we can hit it in between its Focus Punches, and if we somehow miss, it's Sand Attacked 3 times, so it's likely it's going to miss too. So Chile, the absolute wall, takes out both slackings, leading into Vigoroth. It takes a hit from it, and I switch out into Sweden, who a couple Dragon Rages later gets the job done, earning us our 5th Hoenn Gym Badge. Run's going pretty well so far. We have 3 deaths, but we have another encounter to get back to a full team as we run into a Tropius. A grass and flying type should be a cool addition to the team, as we get a grass type on the squad. A lot of type diversity for us as we head to the Weather Institute and take on Aqua Admin Courtney, who we wing attack twice with our Burned Guts Swellow and get the dub, earning us a cast form, which gives us the free Mystic Water. May, same thing, we hit a couple Facades into her team member, Guts boosted, Burn boosted, and we absolutely annihilate her team, leading into our gym battle with Winona, the flying type user. We Facade her Swellow in 1 hit, leading into Pelipper, who we also Facade, but it does not quite 1 hit since we got a low roll. 1 more gets the job done, bringing in Skarmory. This thing's a Steel type, so I have to bring in Dragon Rage, which does a fixed amount of damage, a Dragon Rage, a Surf, another Surf, and another Dragon Rage gets the job done, leading into Altaria. Now this thing, there's a Dragon Dance, but its only physical moves, I believe, are Takedown and Earthquake. However, a Takedown brings us down to 4 HP. We bring in Chile, who gets paralyzed, but a few wing attacks later, it gets us the dub, and it proves we're the better flying trainer, leading into our final matchup with May. We lead with Lao the Crobat, 2 wing attacks take out Swellow, 2 wing attacks take out Numel, leading into Wailmer, which I think 2 wing attacks will take out, but we hit ourselves in confusion and get Water Pulsed, losing Lao to May's Wailmer. We bring in Sweden, who gets the revenge kill against the Wailmer, leading into Grovyle, bite the Grovyle a few times, take a few Leaf Blades, and sadly, we get the win, but not without paying for it as we lose our Crobat. Rest in peace, Lao. No reason to dwell on it for long, though, as we get our next encounter, a Natu, a Psychic Flying type, and we quickly evolve it into Xatu, as well as quickly evolving Fiji into an Altaria, getting the Psychic and Dragon subtypes on our team, which, pretty nice. After picking up the Red Orb, we go into the Magma Hideout to take on Magma Admin Tabitha, quickly debuting our new Xatu Brazil. A few flies take out the Numel, leading into Mightyena. Obviously, we don't want to have our Psychic type in against a Dark type, so we bring in Belgium, the normal and flying type. A wing attack is a little less than half, but 1 more wing attack crits and gets the job done against the Mightyena, leading into Camerupt, who's 4 times weak and goes down to a Mystic Water boosted Surf. We quickly teach Sweden Twister, a Dragon type move, before meeting Steven in Moss Deep City and taking on the 7th gym leaders, the double battle people, Tate and Liza. We lead with Sweden in Brazil. I start laying into the Solrock and Lunatone with super effective Shadow Balls, as well as hitting double Surfs in their face. They're super effective, albeit weak damage, since Gyarados isn't a great special attacker. Brazil gets a little bit low after a few Shadow Balls, so I like to switch into Chile, who can take hits like nobody's business while Sweden's asleep. However, they don't target him at all and double target Chile, since they would have done more damage to Xatu than they would have to Gyarados regardless. We start nailing a few attacks into the Solrock and Lunatone, taking them out and earning our 7th Hoenn Gym Badge. We head underwater into the underwater cavern using a Sharpedo we captured for HMs before taking on Aqua Admin Courtney, who leads with the camera up. The super effective Surf gets the job done to take out the Mightyena, and we get a very easy win over Magma Admin Courtney. Speaking of Magma Adams, we have the Magma leader here, Maxi, who leads with the Mightyena. We intimidate him with our Gyarados and a couple Surfs in his face, boosted by the Mystic Water. Its recoil from Takedown ends up killing it as we go to level 39. We stand against Camerupt. 1 Surf obviously gets the job done, leading into Crobat. Crobat, a very strong Pokemon. Imagine if we had one of those. That would be cool. We bring in Chile, who resists or is immune to all its attacks, and we go through a war of attrition, taking it out with a few Air Cutters, earning us the victory over Maxi. He gets Groudon really mad with the blue orb because he's stupid and he thinks a red Pokemon would like the blue orb. But since we have the red orb, it is of course our job to go find Groudon and make him happy again. Typical Pokemon, making a 10-year-old do all the adults' dirty work. Now we use the red orb and Groudon attacks us. It has Drought, so our water attacks don't do much damage, and we just run because we have no need for this Groudon. It's not a flying type, and even if it was, we couldn't use it. But while grinding to the 8th gym, I accidentally overleveled Fiji, so we can't use it. But hey, you wanted to see some Xatu, I'm sure. I mean, I don't know if you wanted to see Xatu, but you will see Xatu here. They set up a bunch of Calm Minds on this Love Disc and proceed to plow through the remainder of Wallace's team. We take an Ice Beam like nobody's business because of the special defense boosts, and we 1 or 2 shot all of his team members, earning us the 8th and final Hoenn Gym Badge. Over here in Victory Road, it is your typical matchup against Wally, and, you know, I'm sorry if you didn't want to see this, but You better love Xatu if you want to see the end of this run, because we get another Calm Mind sweep, one by one annihilating all of Wally's team members, leading to a quick and easy victory, allowing us to take on the Elite Four with a full team of 6. Let's look through our team one last time. We have Belgium the Swellow, our Guts member. We have Chile the Skarmory, Spain the Tropius, Sweden the Gyarados, Fiji the Altaria, and Brazil the Xatu. Plenty of subtypes. We got Water, Normal, Dragon, Steel, Psychic, and Grass. A pretty diverse team. And without further ado, the penultimate battles against the Elite Four lie ahead. Here we are against Sydney, who leads with the Mighty Enna. We set up a few layers of spikes before switching into Sweden, who then set up a few Dragon Dances on the Mighty Enna, since it can't really do a whole lot to us. But, unfortunately, one thing it can do to us is roar us out. So I decided, hey, you know what? Let's set up on it with Altaria, but it roars us again. Actual good AI in a Gen 3 game, who knew? As we same with Chile, who also it can't do much against, and hit a few Steel Wings. However, we get brought too low, so I switch to Sweden. This is being way harder than it needs to be. We take it out with the Mystic Water boosted Surf. In comes Cactur and the Grass and Dark type. So we bring in our good friend Belgium, who one-shots it with an Aerial Ace, leading into Sharpedo, who also goes down to an Aerial Ace, leading into Absol. Now we're confused, so it's not safe to stay in, so I elect to switch into Spain. Spain nails a quick Magical Leaf into the Absol. However, it's setting up Swords Dances, so one attack from this Absol, one-shot Spain. I'm sorry, Spain, you did absolutely nothing in this run, and I kind of regret not using you more, because the Grass and Flying is kind of a cool type. A couple Earthquakes from Altaria takes out the Absol, leading into his final Pokemon Shiftry. This is usually a really easy Elite Four battle, but I'm literally like 8 levels higher than most of his Pokemon, but I'm struggling hard. I eventually switch in Belgium, which is the correct move here, and one Aerial Ace gets the job done, finishing off Sydney once and for all, leading into Ghost Trainer Phoebe, who leads with a Dusclops, who hits a weak Shadow Punch and then curses, which pretty much means that Fiji's time here is limited. I hit an Earthquake, which doesn't even do anything, despite having 2 Dragon Dances set up, before I switch into Chile, who gets confused. Chile, of course, does his thing, setting up a few spikes through confusion, taking a Future Sight like nobody's business, and starting to lay into this Dusclops with a few Air Cutters, getting the first KO of the fight. After taking another Future Sight, Chile's a little too low for comfort, so I switch in Sweden, and decide to hit a few Surfs, as it's the only move I have that can hit this thing. A few Surfs also take down Sableye, leading into the next Banette, which, hey, you guessed it, a few more Surfs leading into the final Dusclops, and wow, is Sweden secretly a great special attacker? Then again, here, Dusclops is a bit too tanky for our liking, so we switch into Belgium, who takes an Ice Beam, since Dusclops isn't particularly powerful, and one Psychic from Brazil after an Ice Beam gets us the win. Next up is Elite Four Glacia, the Ice-type user, which is not good for our team. Unfortunately for her, though, her Glalie kind of sucks, allowing me to set up quite a few Dragon Dances in its face before proceeding to plow through the remainder of her team with Return. Is it fun? No, but is it necessary? Yes, because I kind of needed all of our Pokemon to be alive for the last 2 fights. Last but not least is the Dragon-type Elite Four member Drake. He leads with the Shelgon, and I hit a few layers of spikes into Shelgon's face, allowing us to get good chip damage. After hitting a few Steel Wings and trying to get through Protects, Chile gets a bit low, so I switch in Sweden. Now, of course, I'm sure if you know anything about Gyarados, you know that it is an extremely good Nuzlocke Pokemon. And Shelgon, if you know anything about Shelgon, it's not very strong. So I set up 6 Dragon Dances in its face and one-shot literally all of his Pokemon, getting our second straight Gyarados sweep, earning us the right to take on Steel-type trainer and champion, Steven Stone. So the penultimate battle is right now. We lead with Sweden and he leads with Skarmory. Now, one pesky thing about this Skarmory is that it has Toxic. So I keep getting Intimidate drops with Sweden, and then switching into Skarmory to absorb any potential Toxics. And since it won't Toxic with Skarmory, we can switch in Sweden, effectively knowing that it will not be taking any poison damage to get Intimidate drops. Now the plan is to get this Skarmory to -6, and then get a few spikes off in his face, which we do right now, which will get us valuable chip damage against the rest of his team. We bring in Brazil, set up a few Calm Minds, taking Steel Wings like nobody's business. We heal off a Toxic with a Pecha Berry, and take down the Skarmory with 2 Psychics. Cradily and Armaldo go down in 1 hit, but unfortunately, Claydol's a tank and is also a Psychic type, so 2 Psychic cannot get the job done. We bring in Sweden, and I realize that this Claydol doesn't actually want to attack us, since it doesn't have any other attacking moves like Ancient Power, I don't believe. After realizing this, I realized, you know what? I know it might be cheesy, but I'm going to set up a few remaining Dragon Dances, which basically confirms that we're going to win the rest of the run. Aggron goes down in 1 Surf, leading to Metagross, who we hit a big Hyper Beam in its face, which is physical in this gen at +6. It one-shots it, and we have defeated Steven Stone, earning us our victory over this Hardcore Nuzlocke. We have beat Pokemon Ruby using only flying types with Hardcore Nuzlocke rules. Now, I apologize for sweeping, but hey, we used the Pokemon we had at our disposal. They had setup moves, and we used them to win the run. So, I hope you guys still enjoyed, despite all the late game sweeping. That might be fun for some of you, but hey, if you didn't enjoy it, let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like, comment, and please subscribe, as it really helps me a lot. I would appreciate if you did, and I'll catch you guys in whatever I decide to do next. See ya.